Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now September 13th of 2020. Here we are just about halfway through of this month, only getting closer and closer to next year of 2021, which is where the new Star Wars universe really is going to pick up by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that it is in fact currently heading in a better and more positive direction, given that Kathleen Kennedy has little to no involvement with the new Star Wars universe, except for the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series, of course, but that's just about it. Now we have George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau all working together as a team to deliver as much authentic Star Wars material as possible, which honestly I think is something to really look forward to. It gives the fans something to be very excited about, and even though a lot of fans out there still have their doubts about the future of Star Wars and view it as a very bleak future still, which is very much understandable and all, I think that we are going to be getting a far superior version of Star Wars than what we ever got by Disney, given that we have new creatives coming on board, taking special care of the franchise. Now, with that being said, of course, what's really intriguing all has to do with Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy and actress Daisy Ridley. Now, this is all apart from what went on a couple of days ago. I'm sure that you guys read up on everything about Daisy Ridley and what actually happened behind the scenes of The Rise of Skywalker and the connection between the whole identity of Rey and how it pretty much answers a lot of aspects of what happened behind the scenes of Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams. The thing about all of this, though, that's very intriguing, really does give us a better and more vivid view of the dynamic between the cast, the crew, and Kathleen Kennedy as the head of Lucasfilm. Now, specifically, now that the Skywalker saga is over, both Disney and Lucasfilm have been developing their new Star Wars universe, as well as their new Star Wars trilogy of films that will deliver a brand new era to Star Wars fans around the world. Now, it's explained, however, that since The Rise of Skywalker and its release, both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek have been focused on making the franchise better than ever before. During and after The Rise of Skywalker premiere, and even recently, the creators of the sequel trilogy were questioned, as well as the actors of the franchise, including actress Daisy Ridley, where at one point in time, Daisy Ridley was questioned about Kathleen Kennedy's leadership over at Lucasfilm, to the point where Ridley unveiled that every actor on board that played a significant character in the series had their own suggestions and or proposal for the direction of some of the characters and their story. This led to Daisy revealing that Kathleen Kennedy denied and refused any of the actors to have a play in the character's direction and refused to use any of their ideas that would have made the characters more authentic to the audience. So here's a very important thing about Episode 9 that you guys may not be aware of, is that initially J.J. Abrams and George Lucas and Chris Terrio, they all had a plan that they agreed on. And that was to allow many of the actors, like John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, to come up with their own lines of dialogue. They wanted the characters to come off as more authentic, more real, if you will. And when we look at everything, what happened with Kathleen Kennedy, really swapping that entire concept out and sticking with the more humorous side of the characters, they fly now, which was very detached from Star Wars, in my opinion. I feel like that was more so relatable to Marvel-esque humor, and it did not fit Star Wars. That's just how I saw things. Kathleen Kennedy did not and refused to allow any of the actors on board to come up with their own lines of dialogue. And we're going to get into this a little bit later because it does make her come off as a bit of a hypocrite based on another project that she's working on with Leslie Headland. We'll get to that in just a second. Now, Ridley continues to state, that Kathleen Kennedy also was the one responsible for deleting all of the improvised dialogue and scenes done by herself, Oscar, John Boyega, and even Mark Hamill, and how they had scenes that were deleted that were done to make the characters come off as more natural, by, of course, coming up with their own lines of dialogue. This was an idea originally approved by both J.J. Abrams and George Lucas, and that Kathleen Kennedy did not want any of Lucas's ideas to enter into the Rise of Skywalker movie. The idea of improv in the Star Wars film was a train wreck in Kathleen Kennedy's mind, and felt that the actors should have had no say in the matter of coming up with their own lines of dialogue, which as of now, Kennedy already is being blamed as a hypocrite, since she is allowing actress Brie Larson to come up with her own lines of dialogue for the planned Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series for Disney+. So once again, like I say, it's not okay if J.J. Abrams, George Lucas, and Chris Terrio want to do this their way, but it's perfectly fine and okay to allow an actor to come up with their own line of dialogue if it fits their narrative. That's the mind of Kathleen Kennedy, essentially, and that's exactly what Daisy's talking about. Now, when we look at everything related to this movie in and on itself, it was quite a mess. You know, if you guys do pay attention to the movie, if you have seen it, or if you do own the film, and you can watch it in great detail, that it is very much out of shape. It's really rushed in the very beginning. A great example is the Mustafar scene. There was supposed to be so much more material to Kylo Ren, you know, slaughtering the guards of Darth Vader's abandoned castle on Mustafar. In fact, a lot of people out there didn't even know that that was Mustafar, and I'm sure quite a number of you guys out there didn't even realize that the beginning of Episode 9, the very first scene with Kylo Ren, was indeed Mustafar. So, beyond all of that, alright, this major transition that was done by Kathleen Kennedy, alright, sent the film into a downward spiral of the masterpiece that they were originally working on. Daisy Ridley went on to reveal that there were even scenes in the film that were going to toy with the netherworld of the Force, an idea taken directly from Colin Trevorrow's script that would show the fans the realm of where the Force ghosts go once they become one with the Force. Kennedy later nixed this idea and scene since she was not impressed with the visuals and did not want any of Colin's work to be in the film and wanted to cut any connections between herself and Trevorrow and Star Wars. So, if you guys really are that much out of the loop, Colin Trevorrow was the original director and writer of Episode 9, Duel of the Fates, before he himself was fired by Kathleen Kennedy because of creative differences. Not a big surprise, really, because we've seen this common trend between creators or a creator and Kathleen Kennedy. Now, moving on from that, alright, as she meets with Kenobi, Yoda, Luke, and Anakin Skywalker, the character of Rey would be given a choice to stay in the netherworld or to go back over to the actual living world that we actually see as the normal Star Wars galaxy. This was an idea by Colin Trevorrow that he was going to use in Duel of the Fates. J.J. Abrams wanted to pick things up from there and kind of do his own spin on it, and I respect that. I respect J.J. Abrams at least taking one important scene from Colin Trevorrow's script and really making it that significant at the very end of Episode 9. This was going to be a moment in which Rey is dead on Exegol, Ben Solo's healing her, and during that time, Rey is actually detached from her body and in the netherworld of the Force, given a chance to stay there or to go back to the living world and allowing Ben Solo to pretty much restore her life force. And it would have given us a different dimensional view on things between Ben, Rey, and the Force Ghosts. I think it would have been actually a very interesting touch on Star Wars that we have never seen before, mind you. Something that the fans have never seen before in the universe. So, once again, I think that this yet again proves that Kathleen Kennedy does not know what she's talking about. She doesn't necessarily care about the Star Wars fans, and she's made it that much clear, you know, in the past couple of months. You know, we've seen, obviously, that she chose the title, and we learned about this not so long ago, is that she is the one who chose the title, The Rise of Skywalker, in order to get more fans into the theater seats. So essentially, this movie was pretty much just the title in and on itself that really dragged a lot of fans in there. Let's, you know, not forget here that it has the name Skywalker in there. It led a lot of fans to believe that it had something to do with either Anakin or Luke, or maybe even a brand new, legitimate Skywalker for however, right? So I think that was a major player as to why a lot of fans were let down, because you have this entire title of the movie geared towards the Skywalkers, and that at the end of the day, really it's so simple as Rey just calling herself Rey Skywalker, plain and simple. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, I think that we still are on the road to success here with Star Wars. You know, George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni are really going to make sure that they're going to get this all down correctly for the fans, and that they really want to start things off with The Mandalorian Season 2. And that's also having a lot of setbacks on the teaser or the trailer reveal. They're throwing in a lot of new footage. They're trying to figure out how to market it. We'll get into that later. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.